You have no idea how this tech has affected my brain.
First announced more than 5 years ago through a cinematic. Guys, this is the first time somehow that I'm mentioning this one. At number 1 we have here one of the most anticipated yet off-the-radar open world games from an indie developer that's a AAA game and an Unreal Engine 5 project at the same time as something called Everywhere. Just plain everywhere. This is an update on the previously announced game, finally, and only just the words out of the company, which I quote, "This is a multi-world gaming experience that seamlessly blends gameplay, adventure, creativity, and discovery."
It's activating. I know what I have to do. When it's time to bring guns to a gunfight, it's time for the gunslinger, for the master of high fire rate, weapon handling, and ammo efficiency.
Number 2, it is once again Remnant 2. The sequel to the horror game Remnant from the Ashes, those of you who missed it at the Game Awards last year. This is a third-person Souls-like horror shooter, a little bit in the same style of Evil West, the game that just came out recently, but more of a shooter rather than just a melee action, mostly. Remnant 2 is set in an open world though, compared to that, and it is at the moment on its way to PCs, Xbox Series X, and the PlayStation 5 only, we hear by the end of the year.
Or where the gunslinger really shines. Their first skill, Quick Draw, unloads their hidden 6-shooter and auto-targets nearby enemies. It's the perfect skill to leverage their prime perk. Their second skill, Sidewinder, cranks up aiming movement speed, weapon swap speed, and automatically reloads weapons when you switch to them. When you want sustained damage while weaving in and out of incoming fire, Sidewinder is a must-have. Their third skill, Bullet Storm, makes every firearm fully automatic, boosts fire rate, and ramps up reload speed. When it comes to burst damage, Bullet Storm makes the damage rain.
A group of scientists managed to tap into the noosphere, the Earth's informational field.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, and I've said it before, has been in development for over 10 years now. The game is still in its active development due to a lot of many difficulties ever since beginning of its development. However, the team is still on its track and continuing to make the game possible sooner, with reports having it delivered by the end of 2023, or at its latest then early 2024. Guys, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chernobyl is a Microsoft exclusive and literally the single biggest survival open world horror game in the making.
A decade later, the Zone, in our image, after our likeness.
My men are still lying out there, and I can't even bury them.
Died in an anomaly, shot by loners, found with a stone around his neck, thrown off a cliff, torn apart by dogs. You cannot kill God.
NCSoft, on the other hand, around March last year, came out with a reveal of 2 huge samurai games through only cinematic trailers. The first one was something going by the name Throne and Liberty, and the other one called Project E. I've mentioned Throne and Liberty a few times already, but Project E over here, which I've said last week, is based and set in the same planet in the same time as Throne and Liberty, and more of a horror game in nature. These games are both releasing for PCs and consoles, possibly next year. A couple of weeks ago, we got a reveal trailer for a sandbox MMO game, a totally brand new out of Finland, something going by the name Pax Dei or Day. The company promised to have in quality as base building components of the game Rust and the politics and diplomacy options of a game as big as EVE Online. Pax Dei over here, we came to understand, has been in the making for over 3 years and set to be coming to PCs only in about a year from now.
Into the unknown. The further we journey from the safety of the light, the greater the rewards and the dangers. This world, it is for us. Here, together, we can build ourselves a home.
It's okay. I'll always be with you.
Number 6 from the Game Awards that took place a little while ago. We've got over here probably the biggest reveal of the show itself, the sequel to the one and only beloved open world survival horror stealth game here, Stranding 2. Well, Kojima came out and said the game is hitting only PCs and PlayStation 5 simultaneously, probably by the end of the year, but I don't think so. Hopefully that'll be the case and that the game all over is just a totally brand new mystery. Take a look, in case you missed it.
When I said I understand how you feel, but if you hold on to the sadness, it'll weigh you down like an anchor.
Los Angeles, City of Angels, or as we like to call it, LA.
And number 7 is one of the top 5 most anticipated games of 2023 and the longest awaited sequel ever. We've got here Dead Island 2. This game is now releasing for PCs in both generations of consoles April 21st. It is gone gold, so there's just no more delays. In case you didn't know, Dead Island 2 is set a few months after the events of the first game. It takes place in Los Angeles under a full new quarantine restriction due to an even more massive
We've all dreamt about smashing zombie brains, right? Whether you're slicing, kicking, stomping, burning, or whatever it is, you're gonna really feel it. I guess dreams do come true. And shit, man, you'd be amazed at what these Angelinos keep in their Hollywood houses. Katanas, machetes, swords, hammers, bigger hammers. Are those bear claws? And naturally, a holy shit ton of guns.
Moving on to number 8, we've got over here since Gamescom last year, a open-world RPG action-adventure mix set within the period of medieval China, and partially inspired by the Ghost of Tsushima game, something over here called Where Winds Meet. Here's just a trailer. This game is at the moment sitting through all news with no release date, only that it's a PC exclusive in its current state and that there will be an open beta testing plan for it that's going to take place in the following months.
you to see.
To see what?
From a few months ago, after like an entire year of just silence, we finally came across some gameplay trailer on Repo Man. Now, Repo Man, in case you missed it, is a first-person open-world RPG just like Cyberpunk 2077, allied with a dash of steampunk elements and just fantasy, in which, well, you see, you play the role of a Repo Man, a debt-collecting guy, that lives in an era where there's angels, fairies, superpowers, and cyberpunk technology. This game's set to be coming out to PCs only later on in 2023.
That monk come to steal your soul.
Can't go there, Arthur. Not for my sake. The light would be the death of you.
Soon you will be blind no more.
I have fought your kind before. And it only led.
At number 10, we've got over here from a few months ago, labeled as purely an action RPG, a game called Atlas Fallen. This is actually from the same creators behind the Surge game, although here, this new game, as opposed to Surge, will have a Middle Eastern inspired theme with partly open world components, and actually a lot bigger in scale. Here's the trailer. This game's set to be coming out for PCs and the next generation of consoles only August 10. Yes, it actually got another delay.
Your struggle is futile. I will bury you like the rest of them.
Announced no more than a few months ago as the second work of its super good indie developers, however, we've got over here a superhero-style single-player action-adventure open-world game, kind of in the same style of Prototype, although this guy isn't really that savage, just unrestricted. Anyway, Unrestricted, the game over here is set to be coming to PCs only, possibly by the end of the year. Moving on at number 12, we've got over here Assassin's Creed Mirage. Their new game, in case you are new to, takes place in 9th century Baghdad with a much younger protagonist, and pretty much everything the series offered to this day, with a shorter story though, and a much more advanced gameplay system. Anyway, here's a trailer. In case you missed it, Mirage is set to be coming out for PCs and all consoles except Switch by the end of the year.
Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. Hide in plain sight. Never compromise the Brotherhood.
Number 13, in case you need to hear this one twice, Team Ninja has a pretty good reputation for new IPs ever since their last game, and the folks are at the moment bringing another samurai-style game called Rise of the Ronin. This is a PlayStation 5 exclusive by Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo together, promising a multi-layered story that showcases the 19th century Japanese Ronin life sim. Check it out, game set to be released in 2024, probably early.
Ronin, a warrior free of all masters and bonds. I will watch over you all, as your blades carve a new future. Your time has come.
Touted as a exploration-based third-person ARPG with platform elements, I think I've mentioned this one maybe once. We've got over here at number 14, Abyss World. Abyss World, I've been led to believe, is a story-driven, choice-based, open-world game in nature. You'll see in a second the game is coming as a first work of its indie developers, but looking legit in graphics and overall uniqueness. In any case, this one's coming to pieces in the PlayStation 5 only, late this year. Number 15, from half a year ago through its reveal trailer, we've got over here once again Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. This is also an open world action RPG with a mix of melee and Flintlock based weapons, hence the title. This game was originally planned for a late 2022 release and now coming out in about a few months, tops, for PCs and both generation of consoles as well. Anyway, the twist here with this one is that you actually have the ability to freeze time and even teleport middle fight. The same developers behind the one and only Hyperlight Drifter, Hot Machine, these guys. That's, for those of you who also knew, one of the best pixel art action games of 2016, came out last year and revealed their next project going by the name Hyperlight Breaker. Well, this game will now be in 3D instead, with hints of Breath of the Wild, a Zelda game, Souls-like elements and hack-and-slash fast-paced components. In any case, the game's set to be released by the end of the year for PCs only. Coming as a first work of its developers and publishers, we've got over here an action-adventure Souls-like coming to PCs and consoles, even Switch, going by the name Shredlights. Guys, Shredlights is described by developers as a atmospheric action-adventure reaction-based open-world game where you play as this tiny little light growing bigger and bigger as you go seeking a physical form. Here's a trailer, game set to be released April 25 for PCs and all consoles except Switch.
The world as you know it teeters on the brink.
From the Game Awards last year, first revealed back then as one of the most innovative first-person shooters, we've got over here with a new trailer since a few days ago, Nightingale. This is mainly a crafting, base-building strategy, survival open-world multiplayer that was initially a PC exclusive. Nightingale is set to come out around July this year, and is at the moment one of the biggest first-person open-world shooters on the horizon. Check it out just in case you missed it.
Monstrous beasts, eldritch creatures and dangers of which you cannot conceive. You must gather your wits, craft whatsoever you require, and build a life in the realms. Uncover the secrets of realm cards, and venture deeper into the unknown. Your path forward is winding and full of terrors.
You want to get out of those rags and into a real ship, then build your reputation.
Skull and Bones, on the other hand, first announced in 2017, has ever since last year through Ubisoft's update been one of the most anticipated games on the horizon, and regardless of the development progress it had, it still requires a precise release date. Guys, we just got word that the game is releasing for PCs and the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X only in fall 2023. Skull and Bones, in case you are new to, however, is an open-world pirate ship battling action RPG in the same style of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And lastly, we have World of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, announced almost last year through a Kickstarter, touted by its developers as a modern, classic, highly interactive, non-linear open-world RPG. This game features an endlessly explorable open world, as it's described that way, the progression system, fast-paced combat, and rich lore, all wrapped up in a satisfying and accessible interface. I've just been reading its description. Game set to come out on all platforms around July.